up, guys? This is Anthony back with another SOTA Street Fighter Round 4 review. This is Ibuki. Really cool figure, couple problems. First thing is the scale. She's over 6 inches tall, so she's really tall, and I don't think she was that tall in the game. So she's a little bit out of scale, but she has really nice sculpt work and some pretty good detailing and some really nice variants. Actually, I like the variants better than the main character because the standard version of her has all beige except for her wrists pretty much, and the other versions have alternate colors like the red and the silver, the white and red, black and purple, orange and yellow. Those are all the variants right there. By the way, we're going to use the player 1 version for the review though. So have a quick look at these. We have the pinkish red with silver. She's got a little bit of a purple hue to her hair. We have the orange with white with a dark orange hue to her hair. Not really even a hue for this one. It's very orange. This one does have just the tiniest little bit of purple. It's not, it looks brighter purple in the camera, but it's really close to black. Then we have the white with red with brown hair, and we have the black with purple with the same dark purple hair that looks brighter on camera than it does in real life. So as you can see, they're really sharp looking figures. At least I think they are. If you don't think so, let me know in the comment section below. But don't be mean about it because it'll hurt my feelings. So here we have the player 1 color of Ibuki, which is just this beige tan color, which is, it's kind of bland. I'll be honest, it's a little bit bland. It's still a great looking figure, but it's a little bit boring, that's all. Still cool. Okay, let's talk accessories. First, let's see if I can say first. She has her little raccoon buddy, which is actually pretty well done. He's got the little tail thingy. He's got nice texturing and paintwork, some gloss on the mouth and eyes. Pretty nice little accessory. And he's solid plastic, so that's a big hunk of plastic for an accessory. I don't know if he has a name or not. I'm pretty sure he does, but I don't know it. So there it is. That's the raccoon. She's got a knife. I don't think this is a kunai. Is it? Having a brain fart tonight, can't remember a lot of things, but she's got this nicely detailed and painted accessory, which she can hold in her open hand. Either this kind of open hand, it'll go in there, or this kind. We'll look at the hands a little bit closer as soon as I'm done showing you, but she can hold this stuff. So she's got 2 of these hands here with individually sculpted fingers, which is pretty nice for 6-inch scale figures. Then she's got 2 of the open, fully clenching hands. And she has 2 fist hands, of course, because you need fist hands to be in a fighting game. She also has, instead of an alternate head, which I suspect we didn't get because of the raccoon, she has a different scarf piece. This one does not cover her face, and this one does. So you just pop the head off and swap those in. For example, all of the variants I have out here have the tall one up, so that covers her face, which is pretty much how she spends most of the time in the game, and then this one does not. So it's pretty cool, and as you can see, she's got a really nice paint application for the face. It's a little bit in the style of anime again. It seems to be a running theme for the female characters, unfortunately, but it still looks pretty good. This one's actually got a little bit of smudging going on, but if you look at one of the other ones, hopefully this one doesn't. Focus. It's got really clean paintwork, so that's nice. Okay, let's talk articulation. The head is on a ball peg, but as you can see, the neck is at a not 45, but slightly less than 45-degree angle, which is pretty normal for the human anatomy, but the way the head is put on, it has to look down. Like in real life, human necks don't go straight up, so that's fine with me. I don't mind the neck going forward a little bit, but the head only points down. You can't get it to go back any farther, so that's kind of a bummer. It does have full rotation, little bit of up and down, but just tiny little bit, and then left to right, just a tiny little bit again. So for being a skinnier figure, she doesn't have a whole lot of articulation in the neck, which is kind of a bummer. The hair pieces are not bendable, but they're not super rigid, so you're probably not going to break them. So that's okay by me. Ball jointed shoulders, or ball disc shoulders, pretty good range of motion. This is hard plastic here, the sculpt for her clothes, but it's not going to get in the way too much because she's so skinny, so it's not too bad. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which is always nice. wrist swivel, and wrist pivot. Be careful swapping out the interchangeable hands because the pegs, as you might guess, are very tiny. She has an ab crunch. It only goes so far forward because of the sculpt, which is kind of a bummer, but it is done pretty well the way it kind of blends in pretty nicely. And then she goes equally far back because of the sculpt again. But it's still pretty well done. And as you can see, the sculpt continues through the ab crunch, so it looks pretty good. Waist twist, of course. T-jointed ball disc hips. Now mine, I don't know why, but this one is incredibly loose. Most of them aren't. None of my other ones are that loose. They're all a little bit loose, but this one's really loose. So that might be a common problem. I don't think it's supposed to be this loose, but be careful about that. Either way, she has a good range of motion for considering how thick her thighs are. So that's pretty good. Thigh swivel built in. The skin painted on the thighs could be done a little bit better. As you can see, there's a little bit of bleeding going on there. Could be a little better, but it's still okay. She has double jointed knees, a shin swivel, an ankle pivot, a foot swivel, and a toe pivot. And if you look, the toes are actually sculpted pretty well. They did a good job with her feet, and they did a good job with her ankle wraps and wrist wraps and bicep wraps, because it's not just a standard flat piece. It's got little jagged edges on there. They probably could have done a little bit of a better job painting it, but it still looks nice. So the sculpt on this figure is pretty good. I'm a big fan of it, and I do like it overall. I wish it wasn't so wobbly, and I wish it was a little bit better in scale. But other than that, it's a really good figure, so I do recommend you pick it up. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the rest of the SOTA Street Fighter figure reviews, and in the meantime, keep collecting.